Hello, this is Big Bang, and if you've never heard my voice, this is how I sound like. Today is the 4th of December, and I've been releasing special videos on this day since 2015. There's even a playlist documenting it. I've been working on Envimix Turbo, a way to play Trackmania turbo tracks with all 10 cars in Trackmania 2. This involves converting a lot of blocks from Trackmania Turbo into a mix of custom items and official content in TM2. I want to show you some insights of how the process of converting these Trackmania Turbo blocks looks like. I'll start with this road hill landing ramp. The reason I know this is called road hill landing ramp is because I used an official map editor plugin called block model in Cursor that will tell me the block name here, which will be needed. I wanna compare this with a similar Trackmania 2 block first, so that I can see what parts I can reuse from Trackmania 2 and what parts I can delete from Trackmania Turbo. Road hill 2 straight will be the best choice here. As you can see, it looks the same except for the landing ramp itself. So I can use this whole block as a base and just extract the landing ramp from the TM Turbo block. To do that, I need to get the mesh of this block. Using OpenPlanet Tech Explorer is the simplest option here. I'll use the name of the block from earlier to find the ED classic file that has the same name as the block. This file only contains the metadata about the block, but it will help finding the mesh file. I'll extract the file and check it in GP Explorer. The metadata file has a reference table that has a path to a solid file, which is the mesh file I'm looking for. Here it is. Let's open Blender and see the interesting stuff. I have a bit of a handy import button called Solid. This is part of my advanced GPX tools for Blender project that I started to work on last year. I also recently nicknamed it Universe GPX Blender Tools, just so you don't get confused by the title at the bottom. This is basically a Blender plugin that can import some GPX mesh files for me to work with. I'm not going to release this plugin until the community is ready for it, but these days it's not very difficult to make one yourself. The mesh is constructed in a tree form, where you usually have LOD support, so I need to be careful to not miss those, as the plugin hides the lower quality LODs. Here, I can see that the block is made out of smaller pieces of mesh. These are actually individual materials that the game splits into its own mesh parts. Looking in game, I should basically remove everything that the TM2 block already has, the road and the terrain. And the LODs, of course. The plugin also imports the lights for me. I don't want to lose those. Here is what I meant with the materials. There is really just one per object. And some stuff that didn't import properly. It is perfectly okay to join the objects together, but the LODs should be different from each other. I'll name them something underscore LOD0 and something underscore LOD1. The something doesn't really matter. Because Blender has a bit different measures than Mania Planet, I had to apply scale -1 on the y-axis and the mesh as a whole. I will apply this to avoid weird import behaviors. But before that, I will turn on face orientation. When I apply, the normals tend to flip, which is a bit annoying, but I can just select all faces and invert the normals. In UV layers, I verify that I have the base material and light matte layers all set. Everything in Blender is almost done, only some cleanup remains. Materials are all part of a single object now, per LOD of course. The names of these materials will be important for linking textures and the official materials. I'll export this Blender project into FBX and place that in the items/ce/landing_ramp directory. Here are some of the other ramp items I made. In meshes, I need to add mesh params.xml next to the FBX so that Mania Planet understands the materials and lights. I'm reusing the landing ramp properties from before, so not much changes here, only the few lights here. In item.xml, I reference the mesh that will be generated with Nadeo importer. Snapping is already prepared for Canyon environment here. This is my absolutely gorgeous self-made tool to deal with import copying around title packs. I'll generate the mesh and item here. After reloading the title pack, here it is. As you can see, there are some gaps, but after you look on the TM Turbo blocks, you'll get the answer. Next, I would like to convert this start block. There are a few differences. The start platform is missing, speakers were added, and the lights look a bit different. This time I'm going to create a custom block where I will remove the platform and lights. I need to be careful not to miss any variant. Luckily, the platform has been added on top of a flat surface. Somehow this already looks interesting. The spawn location still needs to be fixed. I extracted the star block from TM Turbo and imported it in GBX Explorer once again. In variant baseground, if I scroll down, there is a spawn trans parameter, where I can read the exact Y position of the spawn point. I'll apply it in my custom block. Now I finally remove the light. I'll repeat the same steps to the air variant real quick. The spawn point position is also the same. But I still check it in variant base air. This should be my final base block. I'll generate an icon that might not be that useful. I imported the TM Turbo Start block solid here, ground variant specifically. I'll delete the parts that I remember were already part of my base block. Here, I realized I accidentally removed the holders. This can happen quite often as some new TM Turbo additions were merged into already existing materials. The safest bet is to just reimport. There is no other way than to just go into edit mode. About the mesh params, I copied some file with stadium setup and added the materials according to my list. Some are made out of custom textures, some can be linked from game files. After repeating the item creation steps from previous example, here is the final result of the item. The light effect here is a bit more complicated to fix. It is a small annoyance that I don't want to include in this video. Let's join the two together. I'm never using my voice again.